Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I'm just trying to figure out how to share my screen here. So I think you guys can see me. However, I am supposed to be able to show the screen here, and it's trying out Facebook live stream, but I can only show one thing at a time, either the camera or the screen. So I'm trying to do both. And I was, or the market research showed that I could do this on YouTube Live. So, okay, so this may not happen right now. So let's just dive into it. We'll just walk through what happened in the markets today, and let's try to do this. We'll take a look at. I'll have to figure this out another time to figure out how to actually show my screen. All right, so today we're looking at, today was April the 2nd, Monday, right after our the Easter long weekend. So over the Easter long weekend, or on going into Friday, the volume was really low in the market. So when there's low volume or low liquidity in the market, that means a lot of traders are not at their desks, they're not trading. And as a result of that, the moves tend to be much larger, and they are not quite, the market can be quite volatile. Coming back today, the market is back to normal now, or starting today, market is back to normal. So the things that I like to look at the end of the day here, at the end of the trading day, this is what we have in our how to become a professional trader. If you've been following me on the Training Pro Challenge, then you would have received these resources as a workbook that I've created. So things that I look at the end of the trading day. If you haven't followed me, you can sign up for the Training Pro Challenge, and you'll be able to get the workbooks that I use. So the first thing that I want to look at is, how did the markets behave today? So the big thing today was there is a concern in the markets, in the equity market. So if you take a look at the news, so I generally like to go to Reuters.com markets or Bloomberg.com market section. So with this one, we see that the markets actually dropped. The equity markets dropped, and as a result of that, we saw there was a problem with tech sector, and we have seen issues over the last couple of weeks there. So tech sector was again an issue today. Amazon was the biggest loser here. We have been seeing tweets from President Trump and basically attacking our online retailer Amazon there, and as a result of that, Amazon, the stock prices have dropped for that. And also there are trade war worries in the market currently. So we heard that over the last couple of weeks. We saw that U.S. has been talking, or last few weeks, U.S. been talking about putting tariffs on certain things. There's a big trade balance gap between the U.S. and other countries. So the U.S. is importing a lot of stuff at this point, and that becomes a problem because it creates this inequality in the trade balance number. So they're importing more and not exporting as much, and that becomes a little difficult for a country to maintain going forward. So it looks like President Trump is trying to bridge that gap there, reduce the trade balance deficit, and as a result of that, he has suggested that there will be tariffs on different countries, China being the biggest one to get tariffs because U.S. imports a lot of stuff from China. China is one of the biggest trade partners with the U.S. So with that, China is now retaliating. They're actually, there was news that came out that they said they're going to put tariffs on U.S. products coming in. So there's a two-way trade between China and the U.S. However, China just imports less stuff and exports more. But the stuff that they do import, which is more the higher end stuff and luxury products and so forth, so they're going to put tariffs on about 200 products, I think. And that's that's what I read. So with that, that creates more uncertainty in the market and creates a risk off sentiment. So we saw yen crosses again drop because yen has been good, or when there's a risk off sentiment in the market is positive for safe haven currencies like Japanese yen, and that's why we saw yen crosses drop. So in terms of trade war is not quite bullish for the U.S. dollar because everybody loses in trade war. So it's actually U.S. dollar is a safe haven currency, just like Japanese yen. But because U.S. is the key player here in all these uncertainties, U.S. dollar sometimes doesn't quite act like safe haven currencies, a safe haven currency. But that's why U.S. dollar would appear bullish because it is considered a safe haven currency. And when there's uncertainty in the market, especially in equity markets, money flows out of stocks and goes into bonds and other safe haven assets like Japanese yen, Swiss franc, US dollar being a reserve currency. All the money, or a lot of the money, flows into there. That's why US dollar appears bullish when there's uncertainty in the market. So one thing to keep in mind, we have enjoyed over the last 8-10 years, we have enjoyed bullishness in the market since the financial crash of 2008. And interest rates have been super low. So now finally we are starting to, there's always this 10-year cycle if you study the stock market. So we are at that top of that cycle there. So I would be careful with what's going on in the market in terms of the stock market, because it will have repercussions on Forex as well. So as the market goes into the risk off, which means Japanese yen will go up, risk is brought back on, Japanese yen will go down. So it's important for us to understand these emotions. Okay, so the next question that I ask myself at the end of the day is what setups were present and how did they play out? So because I cannot share my screen, I'll just quickly talk about them, but I will post the charts in the Facebook group. So if you are part of the free Facebook group that I have, you can just do a search. If you're not, we'll post a link below this video as well. But if you can also do a search on for Trading with Venus on Facebook, and you'll be able to find that link, or it should be there now. So you could access the charts there. I will make sure I post them after our call here or after the live stream here. But the good setups that I really liked were in the yen crosses, the euro yen. We had a bearish engulfing candle close and a really nice drop after that at a key level. So that was good. Also in pound yen, we had a bearish engulfing candle close, very, very nice trade setup. It dropped a fair bit after that. So that's another one. And also going back to our dollar yen, again, all the yen crosses had great trade setups. So those were the three main ones that I saw. Euro dollar as well, we had a good back test of the level trade setup. So I'll post that chart as well. And I'll mark up the areas where the trade setups were and how we can trade them next time we see these. And the reason we mark up our charts looking backwards is because if you can't see what happened in the past, we can't see what's going to come in the future. So by understanding and recognizing these patterns in the past, we'll be able to see them as they set up live in the market. So that's what, so we are basically developing muscle memory so that when it's time for action, we just take action and we're not sitting there figuring out or trying to figure out, is this a setup? Is this not a setup? That's the benefit of cataloging these trade setups in the past. Next question is, that I usually take a look at, what setup worked really well, which kind of ties into the previous trade setups, and what to expect tomorrow. So I do write down the levels that I'm looking to trade from, and those are usually part of my Skype group, or I should say the trade room. And actually, for the trade room service, I'm going to change that quite drastically going forward. So by the end of this week, if you are interested in looking at the trade room service, please do go take a look at that. I'm going to add a lot more components to it. It's one thing if I'm getting results, but if somebody's going to follow me, I want them to get results as well. So this is what I'm going to be pushing towards, not just working on just my results, but helping everyone else achieve their results as well. So if you're interested in taking a look at the trade room, you can, we'll post the links in the chat there or under the video as well. This is the last week that I'm going to have the trade room at the prices that it's at, because I'm going to make this into a very comprehensive service. And as a result, the prices are going to go up as well. So if you're interested, take a look at that. Next question is, did I follow my trade plan? I didn't really trade today. And this is where, and after that, the last question is, what changes do I need to make going forward? So today I didn't trade, and this is when I should have traded, because I was following the yen trades, or I was looking for yen short trades on Friday. So I should have traded today, because there is good opportunity for them to set up, and this is one, by not taking action, I actually missed out on a great opportunity. So that is the lesson learned. So that's something I'm going to catalog in my trade journal going forward. So next time I have a good trade that I believe is going to set up. It doesn't set up on Friday, but it may set up on Monday. So I have to keep an eye on it, not just walk away, even though I may not normally trade that day. But if there's a trade setup that I believe is going to come up, it needs to be looked at. So that's all I have. I will post the charts in the Facebook group, the marked up charts. I can't show my screen right now, but I will post the marked up charts in the Facebook group. So the question that has come in, can you explain the Japanese yen risk on and risk off? So I've been talking quite a bit about this risk on, risk off thing lately, because it's playing out in the market right now. And this is a good opportunity to understand what's going on, because these things do tend to repeat themselves from time to time. Okay, so risk on is when the investors are willing to take the risk, right? During the risk on environment, we see stock markets going up, share prices will be going up, investors are happy, they're confident that the economy is going to do well, and things will be good. However, during a risk off environment, it's the opposite of that. So right now, trade wars and the stock market dropping, equities dropping, has created this risk off environment where investors are not willing to take the risk, because they don't know, they're concerned about the future, they don't know what's going to happen going forward, and especially this political risk, it's a problem. And also when you see Brexit was actually a good example of that. So during Brexit, we saw yen crosses drop, like pound yen dropped and different yen crosses dropped, because yen is a safe haven currency. When there's uncertainty in the market, it's the yen crosses that actually drop, because yen strengthens. So that's why we see the yen go up, because it's a safe haven currency. Everybody kind of goes into yen, they'll go into bonds and that type of stuff, because bonds are considered safe haven assets as well. So that's the risk on, risk off. Perhaps I'll do a separate video on that as well, maybe explaining it a little bit deeper, and we'll take a look at some charts, yen charts. So we'll take a look at that. Risk off is bullish for yen, which means the yen crosses will drop, because yen is bullish. Yen is the second one in the cross. So if you look at pound yen, pound comes first. So if pound is strong, pound yen will go up. If yen is strong, pound yen will drop. So yen crosses will drop, because yen is bullish during risk off environment, which is what we are seeing right now. All right, so we will call it a wrap for now. I have gone through the daily review. The reason for doing daily review is basically it forces us to look at what happened in the markets and help us ingrain those learnings in our brains. And one of the hacks that you can use to ingrain the learnings in your brain is also going to sleep shortly after you do your daily review. That way, everything that you have looked at, the brain will get a chance to sleep on it, literally sleep on it, so that the brain gets a chance to reorganize this information and create a memory bank from it. So that's one hack to retain more information if you are looking to do that. All right, so that's it for now. So you guys have a wonderful evening, night, and I will be back again tomorrow. I'm still trying to figure out between Facebook Live and YouTube Live and see which one works better. I'm going to try to figure out which one, where I can share both my screen and the camera. So we'll take a look at that. So please bear with me as I try to figure this out. But my goal is to continue these chats. A question here is, once you join the signal, how often do we get trade alerts? Generally, either I will take a trade in the Asian session if the yen pairs are moving, but I normally trade the London session from Tuesday to Thursday, and it's 3 a.m. in the morning, which is the Eastern time, is when I start. So it's the London session. But over time, I'll be incorporating some longer term trades. Right now, I'm only day trading. But over time, I'll be incorporating some longer term. But for now, it's the London session, Tuesday to Thursday. And on Fridays, we have an educational webinar. Oh, another one is if there's uncertainty in the market, it is a roller coaster right now. It is. There's really not much we can do about it, unfortunately, because a market is being driven on sentiment. So what we can do is just keep an eye on the news and see what's going on. I do recommend looking at audio news feed, which so that you get that news like right away. So you're not having to go search for X Factory or some other places to get your news. This way it will be on top of the market, but there's nothing much we can do about it. We just have to understand what's going on in the market and trade it, the way it shows up. All right, guys, you have a wonderful night, and I will be back again tomorrow with another one of these sessions. Bye for now. Thank you, everyone, for joining.